do not approach the Home Office. That is the advice that the High Commissioner of Barbados just gave on the news a couple of nights back. He said, from our experience, we have to say, do not approach the Home Office before you have approached and talked to either your High Commission or an immigration lawyer or one of the immigration charities. That is the level of trust that Barbados has about our Home Office at the moment. This Windrush thing is absolutely scandalous. I mean, it breaks my heart that the people affected here have spent their whole lives building into the fabric of this country. They're about my parents' age, you know. They've spent their lives, you know, paying in taxes or working in our communities. They built their lives here, and then they're told, oh no, you're illegal, and they get booted out, and God knows how many have been deported already. And here's the thing, this was something, they had a protection against this that was removed in 2014 by Theresa May when she was running the Home Office, and this wasn't put through Parliament and there wasn't even consultation on it. This is how the Home Office is run these days. This is not an isolated incident. Remember, I did a Facebook Live video a few weeks back with those two academics from Durham that had been working with the problems caused by gang warfare in Mexico. And they had the protection of Durham University as they were investigating missing people. That's how they could deal with the press in Mexico in a protected way. And then the Home Office tells them that they're going to get booted out with 2 weeks' notice, sent back to Mexico, very dangerous for them personally. And they had a young daughter as well, lovely girl, that has only known being brought up in England. And it was massive public pressure by people petitioning that then made the Home Office relent. But God knows how many others have actually been deported or in processes of it. There was the other famous case of Miwa Hirono, the academic, the Japanese academic, who got booted out of this country. Why? Because in 2012, the Home Office introduced a new law about how long you can stay outside the country, and they applied that retrospectively to her travel in 2010. Her university, University of Nottingham, was absolutely outraged. There was outrage through the press, but the Home Office decided the Home Office was right and sent her back to Japan. Again, with her family, her British family, who had you know, a young child, only known their lives here. But she was sent back. And that is just non-EU citizens and the Windrush thing. We already know with EU citizens that they are getting extremely nervous about all of this. Remember, after the referendum, that they were all told to fill in these permanent residence forms, the 85-page forms where you have to hand over your passport for months so you can't travel or visit family. You have to account for your travel for the last 5 years. And then there was a high error rate from these permanent residence forms. It's like how the Windrush were getting treated when they had to provide 4 types of proof for every year that they were in the country, going back to the 70s or 60s or 50s. It is ridiculous. And now the Home Office themselves, like Caroline Noakes, were saying, yeah, it's ridiculous that they should be doing that. Yeah, but this was under your watch, and it's under Amber Rudd's watch, and then Theresa May's watch before her. You know, it is absolutely absurd, and it has been going on under the radar until they were exposed. But this torture by bureaucracy is how the Home Office operates. And if you remember those deportation letters as well, 100 deportation letters that were sent in error. It wasn't the first time that they had done it. They had had incidences of that before where they had been warned and it had been in the press. And after that incident, then there were others like it as well. The Home Office is not to be trusted. That was the conclusion of the 3 million. Absolutely not to be trusted. And this chimes with what the Barbados High Commissioner just said. And EU citizen deportations are happening, and they have increased by 26% over the last 12 months. I think this was a report from back in September. And also detentions have increased. And the UK Home Office has tried to kick out EU citizens even for rough sleeping. Like when they have jobs, if they're transitioning between houses or briefly fall upon rough times, they tried to deport them on that basis, and that was found to be illegal. So this is why our Home Office cannot be trusted. They do not have the competence to handle things right at the moment, and they clearly don't have a lot of humanity within their system if this is how they're treating people who are part of the fabric of our society, right? So now, how are they going to handle dragging and dropping in less than 1 year from now, 3.5 million EU citizens in this country from a system of guaranteed rights by international treaty under the ECJ into a UK-guarded settled status? The Windrush had settled status until it got taken away. And also, with a Home Office error rate of about 10%, that 3.5 million means 350,000 errors. 350,000 people are going to be screwed around by errors. Does the Home Office have a backup system to help them all with lawyers, to help them all with the processes, to provide the kind of support that these people will need when they get freaked out because they have been rejected for settled status through the Home Office's own error? I don't think they do. I think if we're looking at the Home Office at the moment, they clearly don't have capacity, competence and due humanity at the moment. So how the hell are they going to handle this massive task coming up? They're not going to be able to. We need to be calling them out on that at the moment. The fact that we're leaving the freedom of movement arrangement is absolutely absurd given all the flexibility that we have in it, and this is just going to punish people who are part of our communities, people who we see down at the schoolyard because their kids go to the same schools we do, people who volunteer through communities and charities, they're in our workplaces, they're married to us or have children with us, fully part of British society, British families, and they're coming up to more of this from the Home Office. We need to call this one out immediately and loudly, because this is really going to screw up so many people's lives as it is already under the radar. Right.